Today, we are diving into the absolute collapse of the ICE Open Network. And folks, this is a wild story. It's about a massive community, a truly catastrophic crash, and an official explanation that frankly raises way more questions than it answers. So, let's get right into it. 9 million. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's how many people believed in this project. 9 million people who, for years, tapped a button on their phone every single day, some for over 1,000 days straight, all because they were sold a promise. And on April 7th, this is what that promise became: a 93% crash in a single day. All that daily effort, all that hope, just gone, wiped out in a matter of hours. So, what was the official reason for this disaster? Get this. A single, anonymous backer supposedly got spooked and sold everything. But here's the kicker. The CEO gave no name, no wallet address, and absolutely zero on-chain proof to back up this incredible story. So, how did we even get here? Well, it all started with a really simple idea that just exploded in popularity. You saw it take off especially in developing nations, places where traditional finance can be tough to access. Look, the model was just incredibly simple. All you had to do was tap a button on your phone once a day, and boom, you were mining ICE tokens. You refer your friends, they start tapping, and you earn even more. And the whole time, the promise was hanging there. One day, all these taps, all this digital work would turn into real-world cash. And you know what? For a little while, it actually looked like it was going to happen. Back in January 2024, the token hit its all-time high of 31 cents. For those 9 million miners, this was huge. The dream suddenly felt so real, and it validated all those months and months of daily tapping. But then the cracks started to show. Yeah, long before that final massive crash, a bunch of really concerning things started happening. And we're not talking about small hiccups here. These were huge red flags that was just eating away at the user base and, more importantly, the trust in the project's leaders. First up, you had the quiz purge, which kicked out 1/3 of all users, 1/3. Then some side projects created 500 million extra tokens, which led to a very public promise to burn them, a promise that was completely broken. And all of this was happening while the token's price was already in a free fall, losing 99% of its value before the big crash even hit. That quiz purge was just brutal. This analogy here really hits the nail on the head. Imagine your boss doing that. It wasn't just about failing a test. It meant every single bit of work you'd put in, for years sometimes, was just taken from you. Millions of people lost everything overnight. Then you had the side projects. These little games created an extra 500 million tokens. Now, to stop that from tanking the price, the CEO made a very public, very clear promise to the community. We are going to burn these tokens. Get them out of circulation, protect the value. That burn, it never, ever happened. And look, that is a fundamental breach of trust in the crypto world. When you promise to protect your token's value by reducing supply, and then you just don't do it, that sends a terrible message to everyone holding your coin. Okay, so all of that mess brings us to the main event, the final catastrophic 93% crash, and the, let's just say, very questionable story that came after it. This is where it gets really interesting. So on April 7th, the bottom just completely fell out. The price nosedived 93%, and the project's entire market cap fell to just $1.56 million. I mean, to put that in perspective, this massive network with 9 million users was suddenly worth less than a single house in a major city. It's insane. But what made it so much worse was the timing. The crash hits on April 7th. The CEO, he doesn't say a single word until April 12th. That's 5 agonizing days where millions of people just watched their holdings turn to dust with absolutely no communication from the team. So when the CEO finally does break his silence, this is the story we get. He claims one big, long-term backer dumped all their tokens and caused the whole thing. He swears the core team didn't sell a dime, reveals they'd spent $18 million total, and then drops this bomb that the team had worked for 4 years without taking any salaries. Okay, so here is the most important question in this entire saga. If one gigantic wallet sale caused the crash, that transaction is public. It has to be. It's on the blockchain for the entire world to see. I mean, that's the whole point of this technology, right? Transparency. So why not just show everyone the wallet address and prove it? The silence on that one point is absolutely deafening. This analogy just puts it perfectly. Let me ask you this. If your house got robbed and you said that, would anyone believe you? Of course not. So why should 9 million people accept that same exact excuse for the total collapse of their investment? When you hide public evidence, it's a giant red flag. And then there's the money. How do you claim 0 salaries were paid for 4 years, but also say you spent $18 million? The math just doesn't add up. It's like a restaurant owner saying they never paid for food, but spent millions of dollars. You have to ask, if it wasn't for salaries, where did all that money go? But believe it or not, the story doesn't even end with the crash. In fact, what happened after the crash gives us some of the most important lessons for anyone who's in this space. Okay, get this whiplash. On April 12th, the same day he's blaming the mystery investor, the CEO also threatens to shut the whole project down. The very next day, just 24 hours later, he does a complete 180 and says, "We stay, we build." And what was the result? The token price, which was at rock bottom, suddenly pumped 50%. This whole sequence of events forces you to ask a really critical question. If you knew that a shutdown threat was about to be completely reversed, you could have bought the token for basically nothing and made a quick profit on that bounce. So who bought the bottom? Who benefited from that manufactured panic and the sudden good news? Somebody did. So what can we all learn from this absolute mess? I think it boils down to 4 simple rules. 1, always demand on-chain proof. If a team won't show you the wallet, you gotta ask why. 2, watch what they do, not what they say. A broken promise to burn tokens speaks way louder than any new promise they make. 3, patterns repeat. Stuff like this is rarely a one-time thing. And 4, follow the money. And if you can't, it's probably because someone doesn't want you to. And let's be crystal clear about something. Even after that little 50% pump, the token is still down over 99% from its peak. For almost every single miner who held on, their investment is basically worth 0. That pump wasn't a recovery. It was a rounding error on a catastrophe. At the end of the day, this is a story about broken promises, totally unbelievable explanations, and millions of regular people who are left holding an empty bag. They gave their time, they gave their trust, and in return, they got excuses instead of answers. So the last question is for you. After seeing all of this, do you really believe the story about the mystery investor?